Welcome back, session 13, FinViz, checking our hot list. Share the screen and we'll get right to her. We're looking at an possible investment. If you're new, I'll just quickly recap what we've done. Using FinViz and big charts, we're trying to find and invest a stock company to give us 20% return. And what we have done here is created a Google Sheet with our top selections this far. Industrial Properties, Medfast, going down the list, Johnson Controls, Ebb and Marley, Sociedad, Titan Manufacturing, Universal Logistics, Harley-Davidson, Perform Line Products, Polaris, AMN, Health Services, InMode, Crocs, Dollar General, WNS Holdings, and Alliant. And we have eliminated some companies: Tower Semiconductor, Precision Drilling, Alibaba, Baidu, and JD. And we're going to keep a running tally just to see how we did and rightfully terminating them. So we'll just keep that going. And let me explain the fields real quick. So we have the index, which I follow, is Dow Jones. Very similar, like S&P or NASDAQ, whatever you follow is fine. I always recommend following an index. That's like your benchmark. That's your foundation. Whatever your index does, the stocks will align to that. So it's hard to win in stocks if the market index is crashing and vice versa. So very important. So that's why that's on top. Column D is piped into the market timing. Today is an active trading day, so these numbers will change throughout this video. When we recommended a few weeks ago, it was at 360, and there's a 4% change. So that's how this is listed here. You got the company, the ticker symbol, the company name, the market price, 20% gold from the market price, and then I list a score based on the criteria that we search throughout these sessions. Listed price is when we recommended it from our FinViz and what that currently is from the market. So that's obviously going to change as the market changes. Yield is the current yield. Quick evaluation we get from Enterprise and outstanding shares. I learned this from a book I read and a couple other sources. This is just a quick way of finding out the evaluation of the stock. And I used this for about last year and a half, 2 years. And while it's not 100% accurate, obviously it's not 100% accurate, but it does tell a tale of tape of where, the stock is going and things like that. So you can definitely learn from that. So we have that on this list. Timing is associated with the target price. How when we see a stock, how close are we to the low or the high? Like how high can it go? Did the company just expand? Did it buy another company out? Is it a retail center? You're going to add on another 100 retail stores, that type of thing. So like for this one, it's actually an example, IIPR, they are expanding. What do they do? They lease land to marijuana growers. So marijuana is new concept in America to legalize marijuana and to accept it for not only medical use, but recreational use as well. So it's an expanding territory. So it's something to look at. And then we figured out the EPS growth rate since 2017. Percentage is an annual percentage. So, and then we grade it depending on how consistent it was from 2017. So, and then we scored that, and then we got a free cash. So we have a lot going on. We figured out a lot in these sessions. This ain't even 2 weeks old. This is what I do. And within 10, 15 minutes, I get a bunch of data and we analyze it effectively. So we go ahead, and now what I like to do is actually eliminate a couple of I don't like companies that do not have free cash. And if they're negative, to me, it tells a bigger story. So and there's only 2 companies that fit that mode. So we will take those out now. That, and then we have this one, not terrible, -14, but we just have so many good companies on here. so many companies that we're gonna consider investing in. And things change, and that's why I always relook at everything and make the appropriate adjustments as we go forward. So now where we left off is the target price and timing. So we'll look at Albemarle. This is the first time I'm hearing of this company. I'm not too familiar with them at all. ALB. So take a look at that and see how our timing is on this guy. And we'll do that right now. Hopefully you're good. Hopefully you enjoyed the holiday. Christmas is done and beyond us, and now we look forward to New Year's Day and bringing in the new year. Okay, so let's see, LLB. You look at the year to date. So, I mean, obviously we want to buy at the low, right? We want to buy at the 107 that we see here, the 113. So we missed that dip. So now you're at 151. So to me, the timing wasn't ideal, but they are, they were 230, they were 240 July, and they were 289. So yeah, definitely would like to research this a little more. How I would score this, the timing, probably a C. I would really like to come in at 117, especially when we're spending so much money. I look at that as a risk factor from zero. Any stock at any given time, for whatever reason, could go to zero. So how far are you away from zero? Pretty far. It's currently 151. So to me, that is a great risk, and that's going to come down to the evaluation. Now, if I can predict how it could go back up to 217 and beyond, then they'll be becoming more of a hot stock situation. Target price, you know, we still got to work on that. So right now, I think I'm just going to question that because I don't even know the company. I'm going to have to research the website, give them a call, see what they're all about, that type of thing before I can determine that. But I'm going to start giving this a C overall just because they are pricey at $150. Okay, SQM. It's an interesting play with mining. It's always interesting, you know, how they can shaft a new mine and all that interesting stuff that goes into that. I never invested in a mining company before. So I'll take a look and see what this one has for us. It's a good dividend and the money's there. So it is an interesting play. Let's see what we have here. Okay, year to date. So we like to get to these lows, 45. So we're 15 away from where we should have been or could have been. However, there was an 80 back in July and then almost $100 earlier in the year. So it definitely can hit those levels. It has hit it before earlier in the year. And now we just have to predict if it can hit again. So I think we're pretty close to there with that, and the timing, we're a little off, but I see solid B and B is kind of what I'm thinking at this moment. ULH. Yeah, we'll just go through them all. We'll regrade them, and then we'll cut you loose for the day, and we'll get back into it again tomorrow and try to get like a top 5 by Thursday is kind of my goal. I want a top 3 and then 2 alternates, if you would, and see what we can invest in. Because actually I was thinking about investing early this morning, just taking a look at the work we've done is outstanding. This is the homework that they're talking about. You know, we came a long way. So 21, so yeah, it'd been nice to sit at that 21, 33, and it did sharpshoot to 43. So not as good. I would say probably a C or a D. Not good for our timing. Hog, good old Harley. I'm really glad to see them on the list. I'm glad they're turning things around, and it's really the pandemic that slowed them down. If it wasn't pandemic, I think we'd be looking at excellent numbers here. You know, not a lot of people rushing out to buy a Harley when you can't get their toilet paper and worried about their human lives. That was a very interesting time and very sad for a lot of these businesses. And Harley felt the pain. And the further away from the pandemic, I think you're going to see some really solid numbers from Harley. 25 would have been nice to come in at, so maybe a B minus C, but they did hit our numbers here. So and I was looking at every year, and they do hit about a $50 mark. So they hit 50 and then they hit 38 earlier on. But I'm gonna give them B minus for Target. It'd been nice to come in at that 25. We'd had a lot of upside from here. But overall, I'm still thinking B's. It's still at a good price, and I still think there's at first glance there is definitely room for upside. Polaris, another beautiful company. It helps when I walk outside my condo and there's a Polaris sitting right there staring me at the face. The neighbor of mine is he actually owns a car lot. He can drive any car at any given time, and he brings new cars home every week. And he has 2 car spots, and one is for his Polaris, and then one's for his car pick of the week. So it's kind of interesting that he picked Polaris as one of those cars. So I get to look at it every day, which also helps, you know, because I like brands that are familiar with me. And if I invest 50,000, you know, I want something that I know all about. Let's see, $82 from 95, and they were 136 at one time. So yeah, 82 is not the end of the world. They had a good run up today. So I think our timing is pretty outstanding. And where they're headed, I also think it's very good on that. Okay, let's go. AMN Health. That's another company I want to get on, make some calls to, because very exciting if they're helping out with our healthcare issues that we have in the US. Absolutely horrible to have a great country like us and not be reliant on our healthcare. Absolutely unacceptable. 55 to 75. Yeah, it'd been nice to catch $55. Wow. 75. Well, we know about them now. And this will be probably going on my hot list of 100 if I don't invest this round. I always want to know about this company. A lot of good stats here. So 111, we missed that. So I think C plus, B minus is kind of where we're looking at. And I'm just unfamiliar with them. And that's on me. So I have to do a little more research that way and find out more about them. InMode, very interesting company. The only thing that here is that quick eval. Got to find out what that's about, because that is a red number. Don't like that. And that does have a good tale of what the company is going through. So I have to figure that out. Like the price, no doubt. Like a $20 stock, you know, it doesn't need to do much from here to get that 20% we're after. Year to date, they were at 45, so about double. A couple times they flirted with 40s, so pretty easily to understand that they could get back up there and say B, and we're a little late to the party at 10. They're already halfway through. Wow. So I'd say B. It's still good. It's still $23. They only need to do 27 to get our 20%. Crocs, very great company. Another familiar brand, which always helps. You see them everywhere all the time. very solid company, and their cash represents what they have going on. Crocs has been tumbling a little bit today for whatever reason. Let's see, 76 had been nice to come in at. So I'm already thinking CB, and then they hit these numbers, 128 and then another 150. And then for Christmas and stuff, you got to think, retail, everyone's emotions are pretty high about spending money and things like that. Jobs seem pretty steady. So I think the numbers, I think they'll keep reporting solid numbers for sure. So I wouldn't have trouble giving them B's here. Dollar General, let's see what we're looking at here. Dollar General. $133, $165. Just mentioning a couple highs they had earlier in the year, $247. So not quite double, but close. Interesting. And then we could have got it at 100. So already we lost 33%. Is how I view that. So knowing that, I give it a C, and they are pricey. At what are they at today? 133. So I give it C's. WNS and then Alliant. We'll do a little wrap up, and that'll be about it for today's session. Appreciate you guys tuning in and joining me. I'm relatively new and getting this content, but we're going to do a daily content from here on out. WNS. And WNS and Alliant, I know nothing about. I don't know nothing about either one of these companies. I'm in pitch black territory right now. If you told me they sold gold, I'd have to believe you, because I have no idea what they do. 92, 70, 78, 63, and we came in 54. So our timing is pretty good, and they have noted to get back to these levels that we need them to be. Solid B and B is what I see here. B and B, and then Alliant, ALNT. Also a company I have nothing. I know nothing. I looked at them somewhat. I couldn't from the website. I know they're in transition, buying some companies and doing some things like that. But other than that, I have no idea what I'm getting into. But I do like that they hit the numbers that we need twice already this year. 25. So I missed a little bit. But again, I'd say, our timing is pretty good right here. I'm glad to know about them. I'm glad they're on the list. And now we have this data, and the cash didn't look that appealing. So I kind of downgrade them to a B here. And Dollar General, I think we're downgrading a little bit from what we can see. Maybe give them a C here. Great. Well, I appreciate you tuning in. I think that kind of wraps up today's session. I know a little more. Like I always say, this is like a painting, and every day we're just going to add a little more details, a little more information, so it becomes clearer to us the picture and what we hope to get out of these companies moving forward, especially, if we do end up investing in one of these, which is definitely my intent. I hope you have a great day, and stay tuned for tomorrow's session. Have a great one. Bye.